Sailing over the endless blue sea, follow a secret melody. I hear your voice whispering here by my side. She tells me how to turn the tide. The wheel of change keeps me dreaming.
You know, I'm getting too excited about this song that I can just listen to the song and we can forget about the podcast itself.
I mean, it's brings back memories.
What is wrong with me? You know, I'm supposed to know this song. And by the way, guys, do we have here TimeWaster from the Netherlands? Make some noise. Yes, yes, y'all. TimeWaster is a hands-up artist. He also makes hardstyle, hard dance, happy hardcore, all of the above. Did I miss something out as far as the genres?
You name it, man. I don't think in the boxes that jars are today.
Well, it's good to have you here on the Hands Up Now podcast. This is episode 4 with Sven that goes by TimeWaster. And he's the first international episode that we're featuring here. So I really like this.
Yeah, actually.
And he actually brought this up to my attention just a few minutes ago, and it occurred to me. And I was making a comment how the first 3 episodes, boy, were American hard dance artists, and not so much European, but they, of course, are influenced by Europe's hard dance genres. That's where we all came from. We all got exposed to it somehow. But anyways, this is about TimeWaster here. We're not gonna cut any time for anyone on this podcast. We're gonna talk just about TimeWaster and Hands Up, and I'm actually very happy about this podcast because I can't say the same to a lot of peers that I've collaborated or worked with in the past 15 years. Some have followed my work, some have been in touch with me, some have been in touch more than anyone, even TimeWaster himself. But I don't know what happened, maybe some miscommunication or something. Everybody knows where to find me. It's not like I'm difficult to track. But I will say one thing to that extent. I kind of feel like we all started out from the Facebook, right? And, you know, we all connected from there, per se, on social media. And
yeah, I suppose.
And what happened with your Facebook account recently, the artist account?
Yeah. It got scammed at some point, just like over 2 months ago, I think now. And ever since, I've been trying to reach out to Facebook support, but still no winner there.
Yeah, they're unapologetic about fixing anything when it comes, especially the artist accounts. What is up with Facebook?
I'm still doing some Asian cooking techniques now, so follow me for extra tips on how to prepare
Exactly.
starfish.
Now, did you ever end up making a second account, artist account?
I think 2 or 3 by now, but because it's been validated, there's a little check behind the name. The new ones get flagged for imposting the actual one.
Hey, TimeWaster. I know you're a fan of. You have a lot of T-shirt collection. What are you wearing right now?
A white shirt by G-Star.
Just the white shirt. But you know what? I got prepared for this. I put my hands up T-shirt that I made. Watch this.
Really? Oh.
Well, you can't really see it much because of the actual stream. You're gonna see it later, but it's kind of like even muffled because of all the effects and everything. I think my podcast, so long as it's at a certain time, the graphics and everything will look fine. Especially like if it's nighttime, it works out very well. But anyways, hey, yeah. So. Do we have here TimeWaster? I've been meaning to do this podcast for a long time. I'm glad we finally started doing it. And there's a lot to talk about here, but only because I've known TimeWaster longer than the previous guests we had. And I might say that I've known TimeWaster longer than majority of the members on Discord. He could be the longest person I've known for. So that's still doing this, still making music. Most people I know, they had a lot of kids. They started off families and they just went on their own ways, and time to time they might just, you know, mess around with the studio and stuff. But for the most part, it's always been a hobby. Would you where would you place your music, you know, workflow? Would you see this as like a hobby, or are you alleviating it to a career, or do you even care about where it's going?
Well, to to answer the final question first, I don't actually care where it's going as long as it's not trying to be a career. I really need something as a hobby to put like my time and money in, and it's been an awful lot by now, but it needs to be something to blow off some steam instead of something that stresses you out even more after work and after children and whatever you said before.
Yeah, having children and starting families. By the way, I ended up turning up your microphone just because I thought it wasn't loud enough, and now you're loud, so we can finally hear you.
Go master it when you render the video.
Yeah, we're gonna have to master this and send it to the record labels and so they can add auto, and they'll be like, "Where's the auto tune? It's missing some."
Auto tune that.
Now, what am I listening? I'm listening to Lost Cause. Now, this is a track that you released last year. It's gotten a lot of attention on, like, I think on YouTube, as well as Spotify. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my best performing tracks so far, apart from the Secret Melody, which we just listened to.
Now, where would you place your style? I mean, are you still considered as hands-up artist? Or what do you call? What do you tell people down the street when you meet them at like the music raves and stuff? Like, I'm a hardstyle producer. I'm
usually going for hard dance, so it's kind of
you
like
just say
an
hard
umbrella
dance?
term. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't consider myself stuck to one or another genre. I mean, if I want to make jazz tomorrow, fuck, I will.
And by the way, I'm very proud of all the workflow you're doing. The fact that we're still in touch. One thing I mentioned earlier was it's kind of difficult keeping tabs on certain people, only because once they kind of leave the map and they just literally leave the map, you can't find them in the forest. You can keep trying, but they're living their own worlds. And so, congratulations! You're about to be a father of a second child now, so this is awesome. Very, very proud of you, and you're gonna be just more busier, So we do hope that we get to see more of you, because now I think over the last 3 years I was very impressed by your actual EDM productions than ever before. Because you were doing more hands-up stuff, and now it's just like that new hard dance, hard style type of feel to it, commercial hard style that is. Yeah. So, let's get down to the question. So, and where did we meet? I think the story begins at 2011 or 12, something like that. 2012.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think
Neuroadrenaline.
Yeah, I posted somebody, or maybe I posted it on that forum, my remix pack, and then I was looking for remixes, and all of a sudden I started getting a lot of hits. Like over 20 people commented, or 25 people commented on that thread, and I even had one guy from Australia. I think he goes by Oralwood. He remade the song with his own singer. It made a very funny spin to the vocals. And I was laughing. I'm not gonna say exactly what it was sung but it was just very funny, and I thought that was wow. I feel like it's so much as the song was silly enough, regardless of what people thought, it still was getting stuck in their head, and like
it was catchy.
It was catchy.
Exactly.
It was catchy, and that's one thing that I got into hands up, because songs were catchy, and the melodies are very good. Why did you get into hands up, and what got you interested in hands up before all of this?
I think the song that got me into hands up was the Rob Maeve remix of Special DU, and I really like the amount of details in the fills he used, so I want to explore more and how to make it.
Well, I was connected to the American partner label for that was pushing that song back in the day, and that was part of the promotion thing we had here in the United States. Believe it or not, we did have a very solid hands up label in the United States. They've done a lot of things since 1995, but a lot has changed since then. And I remember they were playing that special Rob Maeve remix for Special D, and but what about before? I mean, did you listen to Hands Up before, or what was going on before that?
Before that, I was too young to
really
actually know whatever taste of music I would have.
So when would you say was the year that you got into Hands Up?
I think this was around 2004, 2005 maybe.
Wow. So
We should
that's
look up for the release, but I was like 10 or 11 years old back then.
well.
So
Didn't the Rob May you remix for the Special D come out like a little later than that, or it wasn't that early?
not
Right?
sure.
It must have been 06, 08, or 09. And by the way, you could be checking Discogs. Speaking of which, I was looking about
Actually doing this.
now that I'm doing Discogs and I'm trying to get on there and edit stuff and put my material on there. It was funny enough when I looked at the whoever gave me credit for my first releases was actually the editor was none other than TimeWaster. He actually edited my and now I'm asking all these questions. Like, how did you put this? How did you put that? Because
2004, according
yeah.
to Discogs. So
Wow. So that song is that old? You know, it took like I would not believe it because it took me so long to figure it out. But what did like Rob May keep songs under in a secret file, a folder or something, and didn't share it to anyone, and then all of a sudden it got. But okay, 2004 it is. I would agree with me. I'm gonna match you with 2004. Well, actually no. But hands up yes. Well, hands up yes, but I didn't know what to call it from like back then. So yeah, actually no. I'm sorry, it wasn't 2003. It's actually 2004. Everything I go back. It's actually 2004. There was a CD called Clubland Volume 5. And it's a compilation. Did you ever listen to any of the Clubland UK stuff that they were pushing the hard dance?
yeah, absolutely. It was crazy.
Which volume did you really get like into the likings of it? Were you like a
I
big fan?
don't know by volume. I only followed the volumes of like Future Trance and Dream Dance, but
Okay.
for Clubland I was just randomly checking them out.
You see, back then things were kind of territorialish, like in Wales, Ireland, and Scotland. You had this very like different subgenres of this hard dance. So we call them like donk and happy hardcore and scouse and all these other things. And people like stick to these things, and they have all these memories they made back then doing that, being involved in that. And there's a documentary. Have you seen the documentary of the donk and the scouse and the happy hardcore up in the UK?
No, I don't think so.
It's on YouTube. It's kind of unfair because it only targets a particular audience, which is like the one that it's trying to send the wrong message that people who listen to this do drugs and stuff. Yeah, like people who listen to other music don't do the same thing, and it's like everybody who does that lives like in this very poor environment that is just meant to degrade society and show.
Those are the headliners that sell, so obviously they would say that.
And so Vice did the documentary. So Vice, I'm not surprised because Vice will do that. It's like it helps with their narrative or whatever narrative they're trying to show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They don't even dare touch Hands Up. Why? Because in Hands Up we don't have a drug culture. No.
We can change that, Martin.
We can always start getting high.
We can start. Yeah,
We can always get
Killer of ecstasy. Rob May.
Yeah, let's all get our Barbie dolls and start. Get somebody to make a.
Yeah.
So-
No one told it was about an actual Barbie girl.
Yeah. So 1 second. Yeah, I'm getting a little coffee here. Sorry about that on a stream. If you have to listen to my vocals coughing, that I'm gonna have to make a song about coughing. I can make a
They
single
need
about
some
WD-40.
something to. It's
Yeah.
the Mexican variant.
Mexican variant. So I don't know why, but like WD-40 just smells like candy, and it just I don't know. Like I always joke around. Like I just saw somebody put it on their windows. That way they don't get like beehives and stuff like
I
that.
think you have it in America. I've never seen it in Europe in any supermarket, but like the spray cans of cheese, like cheddar or something. It sounds like an American thing, but I've
yeah.
never come across it.
Yeah, WD-40. It's a lifesaver, and
Oh,
use it-
yes.
I use it for everything. I even use it for my own hair cutting like machine. So it just helps the blade run faster. Now, so going back to memory lane, yes, things were very territorial, and I would say Germany, Austria, Switzerland. They was running the 3 main regions for future trance. They were pushing it. And then all of a sudden, I think around 08 or in 2010, I think that's when Techno Bass was born, kind of is the compilations. I would say.
Yeah. I guess.
They followed up a little later. It was like 2010. It wasn't early on, like the 2000, early 2000. So, and then for me, I'm actually opposite of that. So I started out with Clubland, and DJ Gollum used to have a different alias for the song Elements that he made.
Neocortex.
Neocortex. And he just did a remake of it on his label not too long ago. But like when I told DJ Gollum, Lars, that my favorite, of all time back then when I first got into the genre was actually that version he made. And he would like comment like, well, that's a very old song and this and that. But I'm like, you have no idea what that CD meant to me, because the entire every track on that CD, you had like all these top artists, like Special D was on there, Groove Coverage with 7 Years one was on that CD as well. So was Neocortex with Elements, and all that combined was so emotional, so memorable. I heard the CD being played out by the store DJ, because I was in Europe at the time, and they would just play the music out on the street. Well, they sell you CDs out on the street. And I heard it, and then I immediately latched onto it. I'm like, what is this music? Oh my god, I want to buy that CD. So there's 2 CDs in it, CD1, CD2. CD1 was more of the what we were looking for with the hard dance, but the CD2 was kind of like house music. They even had Fergie. Shut up was the song. And they had a hard dance remix of that. I'm like, oh, that was cool enough to hear a mix, because back then at the time was like in America this genre was not even known. We had Usher who made that song Yeah in 2003, and they used that kind of like synthesizer that hands up artists would use or hard dance artists would use. And to me I was like, man, you hear a hip hop rap artist use one of the European lead synths, and it's like, and in a slower genre, and it's like, well, how am I gonna get into it now? Like, I mean, what is this all of a sudden? Like, it's like never in hip hop has that ever been done in such a way that Usher did it. Little by little, Hands Up finally was placed on the map. We had Cascada in 2004-ish, and so by 2007, I think that's when my favorite year in Hands Up was. What would you say was your favorite year listening to Hands Up and all, being involved in it and just being part of the community?
I find it a tough question, because every year had like a certain blink to it that made it a great year, but not because it's like comparable.
Okay.
I mean, for like 2007, it was more for a listening pleasure, and a year like 2020 was pretty great as well, I think, because there was the whole COVID situation, so people started to produce more and the quality starts rising again. But the perspective you taking this is completely different at that point.
So you had like, I talked about it last stream, DJ Clubbing Man, Welcome to the Club. He had the whole nightclub. I thought that was the best event I've ever heard and seen, because the fact that they're playing 100% from the Clubbing Man label, music, and DJ Clubbing Man himself is DJing there, and some other DJs, and he's doing this big lineup, and I thought that was super cool. And I don't know if it's still going around, but at the time, they did these videos on YouTube, high quality videos. I'm like, wow. And then they're playing like all these really cool Hands Up songs on the advertisement, on the the promotion thing. And then all of a sudden I hear about techno bass, and then techno bass breaking out, and then all of a sudden I hear, I already knew the radio. Like, would you like drive around and listen to techno bass in your car? Were you one of those people?
I did it so often, yeah.
Yes, and same here. And it's the hardcore of the radio Hands Up genres. It wasn't like, you get into techno bass and you hear recordings. Absolutely not. The techno bass Hands Up radio station was 24/7. It was always by different DJs, and it's always like they would play their music, and some of the material was very hardcore, and there were some of their genres there that they have on the different stations that are even more hardcore than the Hands Up, and it's just like, wow. It's just, you have hardstyle, Core Time FM, Tea Time FM.
Yeah, the whole bunch.
And when did the app come out? Did it come out around 10-ish?
I have no clue.
You have no clue. Okay. Well, the app came out, and the app was pretty sweet, because now you can finally be on your phone. You don't have to be on the website to like listen to it, and And then, did you know about technoforever.net as well? Yep. Yeah, and I used to listen to that one since like '05 and '06, and then we had Pulse Radio. I really like that one because it's more
Oh,
chill.
that one was great.
Yeah, I heard about a lot of these from Winamp, because on Winamp it'll show you the top. When you put in hands up, it'll show you the top. And Pulse Radio was on there. We Are One,
Yeah,
of course, by
the shortcast.
the Shoutcast. It was on there, and then you had Techno Forever, and that's how I found about them. It's this
Same for me.
satellite radio and stuff like that. So one thing led to another. 2007, I wish, and I was in Europe back then, and I loved my time there. And we did have a Hands Up nightclub where I used to go to, and just open up. It's a Danish club. And then you had all the big artists who show up there. We even had the Hitman, we had Cascada, we had Bass Hunter, we even had the Hitman at one point, Italia Brothers, and so forth. So we're now at, I think, 2009. I went back to Europe, and the same thing, went to some more Hands Up parties there. That was about the only time. I've never been to like Germany and go to the parties and events hang out with the actual Hands Up artists. I've never done that. But have you met any of these Hands Up artists that we're talking about from the Future Trance collection series?
Met is like a big word, but I've spoken to a lot of those at like Oberhausen for Easter Rave.
Yeah,
They're just walking through the VIP area, so you can just bump them on the shoulder and have a little chat.
Okay, so hey, you go and hey, Master Blaster, let's take a picture, and then you go and say, hey, do you ever have a chat, or do you stay in touch with anyone from the VIP and stuff like that?
Nah, not really, because it's just on a party, so it's like a little hi saying, and they won't remember your face.
They won't remember the TimeWaster. Well, I sure didn't forget the TimeWaster.
TimeWaster.
They'll be like, don't waste my time. Get out of here, TimeWaster. I'm just kidding.
Once with DJ THT, I tried talking to him in French, but
okay.
My French isn't that great either, so it was like, hello, how are you? Okay, bye.
He probably said, yes, because you put a toilet.
Yeah,
I would
stop being annoying.
Oh, no, I would like to go to the bathroom now. Où est la toilette? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, just to get rid of you. And and so but
he's very friendly, but we barely could communicate back then.
Right.
Note it was like in 2015.
He's very Belgium, he's very French spoken, and hey, it is what it is, but
lots of Belgians talking Dutch either, so
DJ THT, who would you say are your top 5 hands up influences of all time?
I have no single clue, man. I think also for this, it's going by year. I mean, in the beginning it's Rob Maith, but later on he started disappearing from that list because, well, Rob Maith isn't relevant anymore. For now, I think someone like Quick Drop is very leading in the scene.
So he's your influence, and you like his work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm. And yeah, I think some of your productions remind me of his stuff. It's just is that top quality,
Oh, he's way better. It's a whole different ballpark.
And what alleviates me too is it sounds like happy hardcore is taking a big toll on Hands Up, and now all of a sudden a lot of these Hands Up songs start to sound like happy hardcore. And I myself started getting to happy hardcore now, big time. I even will put my own name, Solid Shark, on my new music. Is just gonna be happy hardcore that I'm gonna be doing. I'm not gonna be doing Hands Up. It's Solid Shark, but and would you say that you're gonna be alleviating maybe towards more of these happy hardcore labels? Are you talking to any of these happy hardcore labels today? Are you looking to get signed anywhere with them, or what is your roadmap look like?
I'm currently just self-releasing, so I wouldn't have any strings attached I have to look out for. I don't really want to get lost in some complicated contracts I have to follow up, because I'm simply not able to make free time at any moment of the day to continue something I work on.
Right, that makes a very good point. I think back in the day, most of these record label contracts were very, out there, but they've gotten slimmed down. I've spoken with one in particular. I was very happy and pleased that they'll be giving me such like half off, like 50% on the royalty, and that was like, okay, that's nice. It's not like the record label is taking so much majority of the work, and so, but yeah, you makes a lot of sense.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What do you actually need a label for nowadays?
Exactly. And we're getting to this theme now where there's a lot of entrepreneurs like yourself who are you've been doing this now for a while now, and you have your own YouTube DJ series. You're doing this every week, you're putting a lot of new episodes. That's where we mainly meet up, right? Like when you reach out to your audience and stuff, like where do people find you? Is it like, is your go-to place YouTube now? Is that the place you want?
Usually YouTube.
Yeah, so utilizing a platform like YouTube, and sticking to it, and it works out. And it's done you a lot of great. Like you're almost hitting your goal of where you want to be on the subscribers. I've been keeping a track, and
good.
And we talk a lot about that all the time. But you're doing the right thing, and that's what I'm saying. You just keep doing it, and then it just keeps growing. That's all it is. And I really like your actual music that you play there. It's very matches your theme and your style and your lifestyle. I'm not calling you a drunk, but the whole Goldschlager.
Yeah, but my beer is on.
But your beer's on. The Goldschlager. Is it the Goldschlager the tweakers drink? What is it that they drink? Is it the Jägermeister? No,
Jägermeister. Yes,
of course. So
obviously, let me get another one.
You've become you're the prodigy of like the tweakers, right? You kind of feel. Do you feel like?
I really like the tweakers as well.
Would you say like they are bigger an influence than any of the even Rob Mave to your kind of like?
At this point, they sure are. Yeah, you asked specifically for hands up artists, and I think they did make hands up at some point, or at least one of them did.
Well, everything about the tweakers from their biggest music videos, like the Tequila song, the Vodka song, and all that, and from the 2014-15, a lot of their work back then was based on the hands up themes, and they just did it in a harsh style. And I'm like, that's the most clever thing. Do that, and they did a very good job. They got themselves a top hardstyle name, and they're one of the biggest DJs in the world. And it's rare that I speak highly of top 100 artists, but them in particular. Maybe it's actual where they come from, the way they were raised, but like I feel very good vibes. They're very good people. You and me, we've attended their actual voice chats on the Discord and their live streams and the YouTube and stuff like that, and they're just such a good sport to be around. Good vibes, good culture. I don't feel there's anything bad.
I've been to their live set not too long ago. I think like 1 month maybe. Yeah, 1 month ago, and it was exactly like you said. It's crazy vibes, and they have this kind of small branding things that makes them kind of stand out.
Absolutely,
they do that little extra.
You see, with the two kids, they don't have to peacock. They just have a ducky toy for kids, and they have it at
sunglasses.
And then they have the squeaker sounds, and they make the remixes, but it's very top notch. And then they latch onto like the market being the people. When we talk about people, they went after Disney, and there's everybody in America loves Disney, and everybody in America loves to go party at raves in Orlando, Florida. See, Orlando, Florida was a destination for raves since the beginning of the 90s. Before it was ever anywhere, it got shut down because the police and the government and the governor at the time decided to be, assholes about it, and they just shut down the raves. They made it illegal because they associated them with drugs. I mean, what about the other music genres? Are you saying that, how come in hip hop and rap they get to kill each other at festivals, but here people cannot even execute their right to freedom of speech and freedom of press and assembly? Like, it makes zero sense. And so them associating this with drug culture is absolutely, stupid. Today is a different vibe. Now today you're seeing more openness towards these rave festivals. America has now put hard dance back on the map. Hardstyle being, if not the top second, the top third top EDM genre in America right now as we're speaking.
Good.
And it doesn't surprise you and me why the first three artists were actually American on our podcast. So it's just the popularity is now here in America. And are you familiar with EDC?
Yeah, Vegas. No.
Yep, EDC Vegas. They also have an EDC Mexico.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't not know about that one, but
yeah,
I
I
have
want to
heard
go
of
to that
Vegas
one
edition.
just because I've never been to Mexico, and we have some fans in Mexico that are part of our fans up, and it's crazy enough. We have hands up fans are everywhere now, so
Yeah, it's
you just have to
crazy.
find them. You just have to find
Even
them.
in the fridge.
Even in the fridge. Yeah. I always feel like every time you get up, yeah, you're going to get a beer. But hey, it's good that your refrigerator is right next to you. That's clever.
I had to make like a nice bridge.
Now your setup is something you've had in the works for years now. Are you finally comfortable with your setup, with your studio, and your live DJ,
No.
showcase?
No.
No?
Art is never finished.
You're never finished with it. I see pictures of you doing construction on it. And
I will soon do a web series on how I construct the Rave Cave. I'll rebuild it and do all the cable management, and I want to make episodes
no, I
having like parts.
I hear you often, your own native tongue. You have a lot of fans from your own country, right? So, it's good that you've built like a network of Dutch, like-minded, and because I see you speak your language and you chat in your language on your stream, so you're becoming a very Dutch influence artist. It's not that you're more of a, English based, but it's actually we're seeing more Dutch out of you, which is actually very cool.
Yeah.
And what makes a Dutch more interesting than holding a Jägermeister or a beer and just and be a I'm just stereotyping here, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, Jägermeister is German, I believe.
I'm not lying because I actually thought the Tweakers were like Dutch too, but apparently they're actually from Norway.
Yeah, they are.
And so, I mean, cool. That's cool. Hey, okay. So now I'm gonna go back still to memory lane. And all of a sudden we're on this forum, and there's a lot of people on there. We're young, I'm not even a producer. I'm trying to become a producer. And what better way to get brutally criticized and quit music than posting comments on the Euro Adrenaline? And because there were a lot of trolls on there. There was a lot of trolls, and a lot of people had to micromanage that stuff on there. And I think around 07 to 2011, it was very toxic on there. That's why I'd never posted comments on there or never posted anything, because the one thing I was like, man, I'm afraid people might write back, and just if I post something that I made, my God, are they gonna shoot me over what I just posted? That's how I felt. I felt very it's not that I was afraid. I'm like, me trying to put up with this group of me just trying to put up with this group of people was kind of like after 2007, I noticed that a lot of the active users and members were actually trolls. They were not the actual members from back in the day. They used to sign up like 10,000 online users, right away, or 15,000 online users. I heard somebody might have said like 40,000. I mean, I don't think it had more than 20,000 users, but I could be wrong. But they had a lot of users back then that were live at the same time. So finally around 2012, they're like, you know what? I mean, who cares what anybody says at this point? I'm going to post Boca Beach. Boca Beach was the first one. And you remixed Boca Beach for me, actually, once or twice. Yeah.
No. I think it was the follow-up track.
Or maybe the follow-up one. Yeah, the follow-up one, Don't Break My Heart.
Exactly.
And, okay, so maybe we're not... Because on Boca Beach, I had like 12 remixes I collected. That's all. I was like, wow, this is a lot of time.
You always had those big releases. I mean... Later, the East Rave anthems were the biggest releases ever, but just prior to that, I think yours were.
Now, what are your thoughts about back in the day? Because people used to download music back in the day. Now it's like more streaming. What are your thoughts about all that?
I think back in the day, we were trying. The government instances were trying to make like downloading very illegal, and I think that might have been doing more damage than it actually solved for them.
Yeah.
And streaming has eventually been the answer between we want something legal, but we want something accessible. Because downloading was very accessible way of promoting certain artists you wouldn't immediately go and buy a CD from because you didn't know them. You needed like a bigger preview. And now with streaming, you can just pay the fee and listen to everything like unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's not like the best option ever because the royalties, well, they are a bit lower, I think, than when someone buys your song. But it has been a nice plaster to fix the illegal downloading.
Yeah, and if,
While still
and if
promoting.
Spotify or Amazon Unlimited are listening in, my word of advice is please improve the quality of life for artists, because we've becoming now a seller of streaming services to our market, which is our audience, that we're taking them to you. So please take care of us, because at this point you are the head of it, and to artists it's just like, just to get that many, the royalty that we're looking for and all that. And it's not as friendly as I thought it will be. So
I think the SoundCloud model is pretty neat, where they divide the monthly cost to all the artists a certain person listen to, instead of putting it on a big pile and let it go out to everyone. Like if you listen to 5 songs in a month and it's 4 TimeWaster and 1 Solid Shark, Solid Shark will still get €2 because you listen to 5
we're
songs
listening
for
to
€10.
Shot by TimeWaster. The Shot came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
We're doing a quick plug for Shot, and that is how I think you're my favorite TimeWaster song, if not after Secret Melody, 2K21. And 2K21, it was a red CD on Technobase. What was that volume? Which volume are you talking about? You were holding just now.
32. I mispronounced.
Okay, well that was only oh yeah, it was last year. Why am I thinking it was volume 22? Okay, yeah, it was only last year. I don't know if I was on that one, but I finally got on the Technobase a little before that. And so Technobase is great. When did you first get into Technobase?
Oh yeah, you are on there with Fire Tiger's song, Undeniable.
Yeah.
The first one was actually, it's right below it, volume 3. Just 2 CDs prior to it. So it's not been too much of a journey yet, but I would like to improve that.
Yeah. Well, Technobase is great. And it is through people like you and some really high top artists that we get to make some really top music, and we have an idea of what the expectations are. Top liner vocals, catchy song, either hands up or happy hardcore, and just so long as you send it to the owner there, and if he likes it, you will have a shot.
Exactly. Let's have a shot.
Yeah, let's have a shot. Yeah, I should definitely get a shot glass. But so we released these couple of tracks. I didn't go off the radar because after I released an album, after I got butchered on Euro Adrenaline, I no longer wanted to associate myself with. And then I thought going silent will make a difference, but actually not. I released an album that I never did any marketing promotion on it, and then that was it for me. I'm like. I had a fallout after that. We're not going to talk about it. You know what I'm talking about. I went to the strip, and then I didn't get what I wanted. Came back empty-handed. And then I just, screw this. I quit music, and that's what I did. And then it didn't occur to me a little later that I can actually do this by myself. I don't need to rely on these labels, on these DJs, on this and that for anyone. You just do yourself. Do your own music, do your own thing, and a lot of people don't. That's the secret sauce to everything.
Exactly.
And I think DJ THT did it in such a way that he never had to show off. He never had to brag about anything. He never did any promotion. He just posted his thing. People see it, and the roof is on fire. And because it's top quality.
The roof.
Yeah, it's top quality. And everybody was a fan of DJ THT. I started noticing some haters around, that when I mentioned someone like him, like, come on, bro, why do you have to be like that, But then again, I think people can change. I give everybody credit. And so, anyways, DJ THT I would think was the face of Hands Up from like 2009 or 10 until like 20 and then or like 17 and then we stopped like hearing as many THT releases. Right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Why was that case? Was it the case that he was lacking in content? He didn't have any more content to show, or what exactly happened? Because I did see him at Easter Rave and all this, but what is it in Hands Up to become the next Rob May? What does it take?
Well, to elaborate for the case of DJ THT first, I think he is a person who wanted to innovate at some point, but the scene was keeping him back. They want to hear the exact same sound over and over again. And I think this is one of the biggest handicaps of the Hands Up scene currently still.
Yeah.
But to become the next big Hands Up artist, well, I don't know, make the same sound over again as we heard before, I suppose.
If we're gonna say anything about, okay, sure, becoming the next Hands Up art, becoming the next this, becoming the next that, I think Crystal Lake did a very good thing. You know, they did a tour in Europe back in the day. They even had their own Hands Up TV show on YouTube. I was a big fan of that. That was my favorite thing, and that's what, you know, I would go to check, and they're like, okay, the latest songs in Hands Up and this and that, and it was so
kind of like
done.
a podcast, actually. You should do all the new releases.
I should do that, the same thing they're doing, but with Hands Up. I don't know. I have the energy for doing all that stuff. I enjoy sitting on my chair here and.
Can imagine.
Now, I mean, like, they were doing really cool stuff, and then now Crystal Lake broke into hardstyle, and this is what they're doing. And speaking of success, Rob Nave did not stop after his success in Hands Up. He became a strong producer for the top 100 DJs and so forth. So a lot of people don't know that, but there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that's going on, and he's still a major name with the big labels like Sony and Universal and the Warner Brothers and so forth. Yeah. So whatever you heard of him back then, you might not know this, but he's making the biggest, tracks today for the biggest artists today. So,
no, I do know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, of course, you know that. But the audience, when I say is like I'm referring to the audience. They're listening on the podcast.
Oh, we are speaking this language where there's no difference between you and you.
Yeah, third person. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So, anyways.
Y'all.
Anyways, did you ever remix that sea shanty song that people used to play a lot? I'm holding.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
I'm holding a ship here, and I'm referencing sea shanty, and one of the Hands Up artists, I think his name is Shinzo. Maybe he made a remix of that.
Oh, did he?
I don't know.
I only know the Nevero one, I think.
Maybe was he the original one, and then everybody started remixing that song. I gotta make remix of that song. It's too catchy.
But it's done already. I mean, the hype is over.
The hype is over. Let's
try TikTok one more time.
Yeah. So it's 2012. I finished my music and stuff. What happens with you? So, what did you do from 2013 until 2017? What were you doing around then?
I would like to say studying, but I know for myself that wouldn't be true.
Well,
but
other than your private, like we all have our private life. Did you like study?
Oh no, but I was like getting drunk a lot in the time.
Oh.
So I didn't make a lot of time producing. I was like on a small dorm room and didn't have the space to produce.
Oh, so you were in
much.
school. You didn't have time for music. You were in school, is what you're saying. Okay. I think I remember that. I think I remember that very well.
I did a thing or two, but not like in the pace I did before or now.
Okay. And I think I started picking your music around 2018 or 19 or something like that. And I was
Which is when I graduated.
and when I was blown away how you sound like this new genre that all of a sudden people started to sound like. And I decided to, you know what, 2020, beginning of 2020, I'm getting back on a horse. And I'm starting this Discord server. We had like 20 people inactive. And then we finally got to 100, 200. Now we're 400 plus. But anyways, back then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to use COVID as an excuse to get people on here. And it worked.
A lot of Discord servers did that, I think.
Yeah, and that's
Good
how.
job, by the way, on not having it bled out, because a lot also did that by now.
Yeah,
But the people still seem to be somewhat active.
yeah, and there's a lot of different people. Like, I do more stuff with genres I've never been involved in. So, for example, I'm actually more busy nowadays with reviewing hardstyle music and releasing hardstyle music as opposed to hands up. And so now I'm pushing my hardstyle label, and I'm not doing much with hands up these days. I mean, my expectations on hands up have gotten almost little to nothing. Nobody sends me hands up demos as much. I mean, some do, but not enough. And all the young people are alleviating to certain subcultures and stuff like that I don't know anything about. And there's other channels for hands up now that are just super underground and super this, but they're doing very well. And I'm surprised that they're doing this and still helping the cause. But hey, there are some new artists that are just coming up. And I'm very proud of your success, because you're starting to release more of your own music on your own label and all that. And we get to hear more TimeWaster. And I want you to get to a level on YouTube where I think you'll really set the roof on fire. And we have to get there. And I like what you're doing on our Discord server, how, when you share your stream, it's like your excuse as well, because until I get to that many subscribers, I'm going to keep posting it on every channel. You
have to make kind of joke about it, because
of
people
course,
will
yeah.
remember that. If
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have like one channel where everyone keeps spamming that Twitch channel, YouTube channel, whatever, no one's gonna click it.
Yeah, and yeah, you have every right to do that. I mean, you're a self-made guy. You have proven your loyalty to the brand. You're really
Actually, I will put on my YouTube channel now. Haha, fuck you all.
you
You're
have
not gonna
a
mod it.
you have a
You're in
release
chat.
coming up on our label. One of it is coming out on the 2nd of September. It's for Fire Tiger Energy. Now, I think I might have already released your remix on our compilation. I finally did Hands Up Now Volume 1 compilation.
I think that was undeniable.
It was okay, so it was undeniable, which I haven't even released.
Still
that
have
single.
to release that one.
I still have to. I'm
Yeah.
still due to release it. But Energy's
9th
gonna.
of September.
Yeah, Energy is getting released on September 2nd. And then September 15th, we have a release for Martin Ko featuring Zarxy, Don't Doubt It, which TimeWaster said today that he's going to be remixing. So he's going to get his separate release, which is fine, because we have another guy who has a separate release. And then...
It's gonna be a banger.
I think we started to kind of, get back on a horse around 2021 or 2022. And you did Priyanka. In Phone, I think. Did you remix Phone as well, or you didn't?
No, I did not.
Phone was a happy hardcore thing, and then Priyanka you did, and I'm like, wow, I'm so happy, because Priyanka was one of my favorite songs I did. And then I'm like, well, nice, I can do releases with TimeWaster, and I was very happy about your style then, and that's why I like bringing you on board. It's about your style that now is better than when you first worked together with like Don't Break My Heart. That was like 2012.
Yeah.
And with everything being said, with EDM, where do you see the music industry going? Do you think hardstyle is gonna be like, is gonna empty the bucket of happy hardcore? Is happy hardcore done, or is happy hardcore gonna keep going? When I talk to DJs in America, they still support happy hardcore. We have now more of a happy hardcore presence than ever. It's one of the top genres here, I would say. Like, we have actual raves festivals. S3RL has a lot of fans, and he has a lot of prodigies here. A lot of artists that come to our label, they're just coming from his, he's one of their influences. And but yeah, what do you make of the industry? Where do you think things are going?
Well, it's funny because you mentioned Searle, which is one of the artists that actually is an argument for the point I'm trying to make here, because a lot has been internet-based lately. Since people couldn't go out, they explored like a lot of music differences in genres online. And for sure, like, I think the fan base was pretty weeby or geeky or whatever, and that was his sweet spot. And it came in like a bang just before the COVID, and now I think it's even bigger. And also for other artists who have usually been like remixing memes or doing internet stuff, they can get a lot bigger now because their name is more well known. In opposite to people who are like mostly live performing and were in their city every 1 or 2 weeks. So I think it will be shifting for now and a bit, but I also think at some point we will still need to have the people who spend like the time behind their PC to evolve a genre, give it the quality it needs to evolve, and not like hands up and bleed out on the same style over and over again until someone finally picks it up and chooses a new direction of the genre.
You know,
I think that is most important.
Part of your top 10 tracks of on your Spotify, our favorite Priyanka is a top 10, and I'm gonna play it right now just because.
Very nice.
It got featured. I have to promote that remix just so we can stay in your top 10 of your TimeWaster tracks of all time. Yeah, anyways, yeah, so like S3RL, you know, with the whole IRL community and the internet and in Asia and all that stuff, which were like ahead of the time than us here in Europe, and you know, with their cell phones and all that technology and
well, I think he's internet from Australia actually.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, he's so like, yeah, Australia, but I'm sure he's also a big name in like maybe Japan and stuff like that, you know, like.
Oh, yes.
And like just any of the Asian countries in general. I think he has a very big fan base.
Russia, not kidding.
Oh, maybe Russia too, but Russia, like, they have their own version of SoundCloud. Asia. Have you heard of it?
Oh no. What's it called? Because they're rising like all these American brands with another name now.
Well,
because they withdrawn from Russia.
It's called Promo DJ, I think. PromoDJ.com.
Okay.
PromoDJ.com. You make an account just like SoundCloud, and then you have access to download all these remix packs. Remix contests that they're pushing. But of course, they're gonna select only one specific genre to be the winners. They're looking for something specific all the time, which is like this deep house, commercial deep house, which is like slap house and deep house combined. They always choose that for the top 3 winners on their contests.
Obviously, it's a big genre now.
And what happens is they have a large data of music. They have a large library of music because people post music every like 20 seconds or something like that on there.
I can imagine so.
And so you get hits right away. Like people would listen to it over there. One time I found a singer on there who wanted to get married with me. I'm like, oh no, thank you. You know, it's I think pushing. Like she was only talking to me because she wanted to get married, and I'm like, hang on a second. You know, like I just wanted to work with you. Just because you find me, you know, attractive and all that. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, guys, like that was.
Let's make a song called Green Card.
Let's make a song called I get married. We get married when I screw you and I take your money and your assets.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not my favorite song. So
not top 10 Spotify.
Yeah, and then she tried to introduce me to her sister, and I'm like,
get married to her too.
Yeah, and then like once I didn't want to get involved with both of them, I'm like, and she wasn't the best singer, and anyways, but
let's get moving.
Yeah, so that's the name of the website there. I found out there were some cool people on there. I reconnected with one in particular. We signed him in our label. I'm happy we got him involved. Very talented, Bassanata. Shout out to him. He's doing dancecore. So he's not even doing hands up, he's doing dancecore.
What's the difference?
Well, dancecore is more serious, and it's like the trance. Well, come on, hands up is cheesy shit.
But it's so easy to say it's more serious because the cheesy people are choosing for Hands Up for the name. I mean, the genre doesn't sound as serious as something with like dunge and core. Like,
Yeah.
what's in the name?
Okay, let me see. We're going back to
Rock and Bass T is Hands Up for some people, but dancecore for some others. I don't think there's any difference at some point.
yeah, we're gonna play your how do you say Grootse Jager Ooit?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Grootste Jäger ooit.
What does that
Let me
even,
grab something.
what does that mean?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Een heuskochte tocht, het is niet om de hoek. Hopelijk staat hij wel goed koud. Thuis in de vriezer, daar ligt hij niet bij de paraplu's.
Grootste means like biggest. Jäger is like Jägermeister. And ooit is ever.
Ah, which
so
is why
the
you
song
guys
goes,
Yeah.
we are looking for the biggest Jäger ever, and we will drink it after we found it.
Yeah, Time, just letting you know you're cutting off a little bit on the like the cable or something was.
Oh, I will repeat. The song title means the biggest Jäger ever, and the first sentence of the chorus is like, we are looking for the biggest Jäger ever, and we will drink it when we find it.
Yes.
So we found a 3-liter bottle of Jägermeister.
Yeah. There you go.
Please note or compare.
Look at that. Yes.
Holy fuck, we finished it. Like the song goes.
And, and this is not even paid promotion.
No, actually.
Do they write you checks every week? Oh, now let me ask a question. Oh yeah, before we can continue the podcast, just letting you know, like the microphone or something is like blowing up, or like just don't move too much or something. You know, if you know what's going on, yeah.
I don't, but
I
I
think
will
I think you fixed
beer
it.
real quick so I don't have to move again.
Well, hang on. Yeah. I don't know what is going on, but something's blowing up there on the microphone. All right, now
Maybe I've got wet, like from spit or drink.
or maybe you gave some Jägermeister to the microphone. So
Yes. Drink the biggest Jäger ever. Fuck you, microphone.
now,
I can switch microphone if it's too bad.
TimeWaster, we can find you on all these social media. Like I'm looking at Twitch. I learned today that you're on Twitter. Now I'm big on Twitter.
You are.
Yes.
Teach me, master.
Yeah, and so Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can find TimeWaster on there. Now, Time, can you tell us, are we expecting any live performances from you, or are you looking to just stick right now with the YouTube, what you're doing on the DJing?
No. This Monday, actually, I do have a live gig over at Zwolle, which is sitting nearby, for a lot of students who are having like their introduction week to college. Obviously, I will do the Rave Caves on every Tuesday evening, and I think in October, at the end of September, October, I will have a gig in Germany.
Okay, this is
So,
great.
Fun stuff to go to.
Where in Germany can they find you, and do we have more information about it?
I don't know the details myself yet, but I think it's close to Oberhausen, so
Okay.
where Easter Rave usually is.
There right now is the Gamescom in Germany. Have you heard of it?
No.
Gamescom
now
is
I do.
happening in Cologne or in Munich as well. So I have some partners that are there right now for Gamescom, and they're doing some of them are like making synthesizers themselves. They're not technically making music; they're making synthesizers. I think they're gonna launch them out. to
Like
the-
hardware.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, and and I'll have more information about one in particular because I'm meeting up with him early next month. So, one thing I'll say is on our website handsupnow.com, the hands-up-now.com, which our website right now is getting fixed up for the security purposes. I don't know why, but some people could not access the website or stuff on their mobile, and I personally had that issue as well. So we're getting that fixed up right now. But we posted the Rave Cave podcast on there, and you can please tune into TimeWaster's Rave Cave. It happens every week. What are the dates for Rave Cave? Is it Tuesdays? Or
It's always Tuesday.
It's always Tuesday.
And for when it's not, but then I won't be streaming.
And do
the
you
whole
always
week.
go off like whenever you want, or is it like specific time?
It's usually at 8:30 p.m. in Central European summer or not summertime.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've hit the 1 hour mark. I think
One more to go. No.
One, we can go for more, but I think that I'm just cheating the guest here. I don't want to do that, and I want to. He has to go back to his family, and he has a life just like everybody else, and so we're gonna let it go. I think this has been a lot of blast. Before we go, any last parting words, TimeWaster?
Well, drink more Jaeger. Also in the US.
Also in the US. There you go. I think everybody should tune in, please. I believe everybody should tune in to TimeWaster's Rave Caves. Happens on Tuesdays. I myself am on there. If I don't see you on there, we have a problem, guys. Just kidding. Okay. So
all 400 of you.
Yeah. Everybody on our Discord server who's watching this podcast, please. No, please. You do it. Do it now.
Ring the subscriber bell on the TimeWaster channel,
yeah.
and you will just get a notification when it happens.
Yeah, do that, and follow TimeWaster. He's doing some really cool projects, very friendly on all genres and hard dance. It's not like one particular one. Because
Can I plug one more?
Yeah.
Because in over exactly 1 week, for me it's Thursday already. Exactly 1 week, that would be the 1st of September. My new single, "She Doesn't Mind," will be released.
Oh.
This is premiere, by the way. I haven't announced it anywhere else, I think.
By the way, we had the shot music video on our Hands Up Now YouTube page for an entire month. It was on there. And it was
Hashtag
playing.
Started Shot.
So if you're a Hands Up YouTube channel and you haven't shot the music video on your main page on your YouTube channel, you should do that, because TimeWaster is the face of Hands Up. His music style rocks. He's got an interest from Fire Tiger, Zarzi, top bass house DJ in America, based in Los Angeles, top 15 Google search rock band in the United States of last year. Fire Tiger. I mean, like, he's on the map. He's out there. He's signed with our record label, Sunny Beach Records. He's featured constantly on Techno Bass. You can find him everywhere, wherever Hands Up we are. So I'm gonna leave this up with everyone. It's been an awesome Hands Up stream with an original Hands Up artist. Not like somebody who knew about Hands Up and doesn't make Hands Up release. No, we have a Hands Up artist here. His name is TimeWaster. Go check him out. All right, everyone. Peace.